Greetings, everyone. Well, 2014 marks the 30th anniversary of, well, several notable 80s cartoon franchises, and over the course of this year, I'll be doing videos about a good chunk of them, at least ones that are significant to me personally. One of the big ones, of course, is the Transformers. Yes, it was 30 years ago, 1984, that the Transformers first took the world of toys by storm and started a whole new phenomenon that's been going pretty much steady ever since. There was a bit of a lull in the 90s. You know, there was the whole Beast Wars line, which wasn't anywhere near as popular as the old vehicles and robots and such. And then in the early 2000s, it was brought back in comic book form with new toys and collector's editions and reprints of the old comics, and it just went on and on and on. And then of course the huge movie franchise, which fans are very split on. I'm kind of split on the movies myself, the so-called Bayformers. I didn't mind the first one. The second one I hated. I have not seen the third one yet. I'll probably see it. Well, I'll see it at some point, and then I'll see the fourth one as well. Maybe my faith in the series will be restored. I highly doubt it, but anyway, I'm just going to adjust the light a little bit here. It's kind of precariously balanced. There. That's kind of better. Didn't want it falling over. Alrighty, so 30 years of Transformers. So what does that mean for the Multimedia Chronicles? Well, I don't know what it means for the Multimedia Chronicles, but I know what it means for my personal collection, which is mainly what the Multimedia Chronicles is about. Namely, that there's a whole pile of Transformers stuff I've been wanting to get in the collection for a very long time. And this being the 30th anniversary year, I figured what better time to get on that and get it going on, man. So, picked up a couple of things recently. Just the tip of the iceberg for what I plan to pick up over the course of the year. But a pretty good start, I think. Kicking things off good and proper. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. A couple new Transformers things for the collection to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Transformers today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Well, as you may recall, a little while back, actually not too long ago, I stumbled across this, which is the Blu-ray edition, the limited edition Blu-ray set of Transformers Prime Season 1. Really, really nice set. Comes with the prequel comic book, which is really the main reason to get the limited edition, because as far as I know, it's the only way you can get this comic book, so that's pretty cool. And then you got all 26 episodes of Season 1 spread across 4 discs. So that's... I've shown this briefly before. So there you go. So all 26 episodes of Season 1 and some extras. And we got a little ad for some of the current comics. Actually, we got a series called More Than Meets the Eye and another series called Robots in Disguise, appropriately enough. So that's 2 of the current ongoing Transformers comics. You can get nice collected editions of most of them. Before anyone asks, I have not read really any of the IDW comics that have been published in recent years. I understand some of them are quite good, but yeah. So that's something that I might be doing this year, actually, is finally getting caught up on those. The big focus for me is not so much, even though this is based on the toys, and a lot of people are big on collecting the toys, quite frankly, I'm not as big a toy collector. I mean, as, the show's the Multimedia Chronicles, right? I'm kind of a media guy, so I like the media stuff. For me, the exciting part about Transformers has always been the characters and the stories and the lore about it. So stuff like this, like DVDs of the various shows and collected editions of the comics and things like that, that's really what's of major interest to me, and that's going to be the primary focus of the collection building over the course of this year. So I got Season 1 of Transformers Prime. You can probably guess where this is going. I also picked up Season 2 recently. I actually managed to snag Season 2 with the slipcover over at the local HMV. This is the last copy they had, so I actually passed up getting a couple more Scream Factory titles in favor of getting this instead. So basically I could get 2 Scream Factory titles or this for about the same price. This was $45. The Scream Factory titles typically go for 20 to 25 a piece. So once again, we have 26 episodes spread across 4 discs. It's quite a nice set. Not as snazzy on the artwork on this volume, but that's okay. And there you go. In terms of extras, we have a brand new interviews with the creative team, Optimus Prime up close and personal, a panel featuring Larry King and Peter Cullen from the San Diego Comic-Con in 2012. So that's pretty cool. It's always good to hear from Optimus Prime himself. Now, speaking of Transformers Prime, and getting a Prime membership at Amazon, I recently got a Prime membership at Amazon.ca. Specifically, I haven't got a paid membership. I basically got their 30-day free trial. I got a prepaid credit card as a belated Christmas gift, and I was trying to figure out what I could, spend it on. I mean, I could just get some groceries with it and such. But I thought, well, I can get groceries with cash. I don't need a credit card for that. A credit card allows me to do things like buy stuff off Amazon. And, my good buddy Stoudman is always telling me about his Amazon Prime membership and how awesome it is, getting free 2-day shipping for everything. And but that's for Amazon.com. So I was browsing around Amazon.ca thinking, well, I'll order from the CA site because then I can, save a little bit on shipping, and plus it won't take as long to get to me because it's just coming from the Canadian site instead of the US site. Save on customs potentially. And then I saw that Amazon CA also has the Prime membership. So I thought, what the hell, let's give it a shot. So I got their 30-day free trial and picked up, this seemed really appropriate to be the first thing to get with my Prime membership, wink wink, the first volume of Transformers Classics. Now you may recall a while back I had the previous release of this. I had the first volume anyway. And I never actually bothered getting the rest of the volumes in that particular release because that release omitted certain issues. There were certain issues in the run that featured Marvel characters or references to Marvel characters. One that I always thought was really stupid that they had listed as a Marvel character was Circuit Breaker. Let me just see if I can find a picture of Circuit Breaker here. Where is it? Yeah, here. Was Circuit Breaker. It was basically this woman who is injured by some of the Transformers and then gets these crazy computer manipulative powers and seeks revenge on them. Now, Circuit Breaker only actually appeared outside of the Transformers for precisely one panel in a Marvel comic. One. That's it. So because of that one panel, specifically it was an issue of Secret Wars 2, in case you're wondering, which is a mini-series featuring the entire Marvel Universe. Because of her appearance in that one panel, they could not include any of Circuit Breaker's appearances in the original release of Transformers Classics. So it was reduced to cameos and not even cameos, like basically just kind of offhanded references, but no actual full appearances. Well, the other big one, of course, was issue number 3, which features Spider-Man. They omitted issue number 3, the penultimate issue of the original 4-issue limited series. So, yeah, I was quite disappointed by that collection, as I think a lot of fans were. I wanted the complete collection, the way I remembered it. I used to have, just to give you a bit of background, the original Transformers comics from 1984 were actually what got me into collecting comics. Now, I had a few comics that people had given to me as presents over the years and whatnot, but I didn't really actively collect anything. It wasn't until Transformers came out, my friends and I picked up the first issue, and we just loved it and couldn't get enough of it. And we got some of the toys, and then of course the show came on a few months after the first issue of the comic, and it was just, Transformers up the yin yang. But it was Transformers specifically that got me into comic collecting. It was the first series that I actively collected on a regular basis. Well, I mean, the 4-issue miniseries was bi-monthly, so one issue every 2 months. But what ended up happening, I guess, was, it was a long haul between issues, so I wanted other comics to read, so I started collecting other comics and getting into more stuff. So, but it really comes back to Transformers. That was the one that got the ball rolling, and I collected it for the first 35 issues. So I actually had issues 1 through 35 of the original Transformers comics. Sadly, I don't have them anymore. I guess it was around 2007 when the first movie was coming out. I decided that would be a good time to sell them because I'd probably get more money for them. Honestly, I don't think I got very much for them. It was kind of a pittance. I might as well have just kept them. But anyway, I've been missing the old comics, and especially being the 30th anniversary, I really wanted to read them again. So IDW has finally sorted out the rights issues and has been reissuing the original comic reprints in these beautiful, thick volumes. Each volume contains like 12 or 13 issues in it. This particular one includes the first 13 issues, and all the color's been beautifully restored, and it just looks fantastic. So if we just take a look here, there's the cover right there of the very first issue of Transformers. The only thing that they've omitted is the Marvel logos that were originally at the top, and this down here was originally a Spider-Man face and stuff like that. So they've just omitted the Marvel-specific stuff aside from the issues that feature Marvel characters. But originally with the Marvel comics, they were going to make them part of the Marvel Universe, and then eventually decided not to. What they did do, however, was make them part of the G.I. Joe universe. There was a few G.I. Joe crossovers with the Transformers as well. But this is a great collection. They've almost reprinted the entire series. Actually, they've got 7 volumes out now, which I believe covers. Or they got 6. No, they got 6 volumes out. There's a 7th one coming that finishes up the series. So all 80 issues of the original series. And then they also, the final volume will also contain all 4 issues of Transformers Headmasters, which was another 4-issue limited series that actually occurs about halfway through the run, somewhere around issue 30 or thereabouts. Excuse me. And then also includes the original 3-part adaptation, long day, of the Transformers movie from 1986. So, pretty cool. Needless to say, I do intend to get all 7 volumes. There's also a companion series to this, called Transformers UK Classics. Now, at the same time that the American Marvel was publishing Transformers comics, the UK Marvel was also publishing Transformers comics, but as a weekly. So, for the most part, it contained reprints of the American comics, but they found that they didn't have quite enough material from the American comics to sustain a weekly publication. So what they started doing was doing their own stories. Now, initially, these were sort of standalone stories that didn't really interfere with the continuity at all. But then, later on, they started doing their own continuing stories, which actually took place in between or outside of the continuity of the American series, but were kind of fit into it. So you got a lot of side stories and stories featuring characters that didn't really appear much in the American comics and stuff like that. You got a lot of stuff taking place on Cybertron, for example, that you didn't get in the American comics. And it was pretty good. I have a few just random issues of the old Transformers Weekly. But anyway, they currently have 5 volumes of reprints of the UK specific stories. What I was talking about this with Skinslip last week on Saturday Night Insanity. And I would really love, we both agreed we would love to see like the definitive 80s Transformers comic compilation having all of the American comics and all of the UK comics slotted in where they would have fit into the continuity, or at least in terms of the publication date. So it would be like the extended director's cut of the 80s Transformers comics. It would be great to see that. But as it stands, at least we can get most, if not all of them, through the collected editions. So yeah, there you go. That's the beginning of the year-long Transformers 30th anniversary celebration. Top of the list, obviously, is to get the rest of these. Also to get Season 3 of Transformers Prime, as well as the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Predacons Rising movie, which is basically the grand finale to the to the series. So I haven't really sat down and started marathoning Transformers Prime yet. I decided I might as well just wait until I get the 3rd season, and then I can marathon all 65 episodes and the movie more or less back to back. So yeah, looking forward to that. Alrighty, so that is it from me to you for now. The Transformers celebration has begun. I'll keep you up to date on how things go. And yeah, in the meantime, if you're looking for a nice, inexpensive way to experience the original Transformers comics from the 80s, definitely check out this new Transformers Classics collection. You can usually find each volume for about $17, maybe 20. Yeah, they're really affordable, and I mean, you can get the whole set for about 200 something bucks, which all told isn't bad. It's definitely a lot cheaper than you'd pay for the individual comics. And you know, the printing quality on them and the color and everything is just fantastic. I'll just quickly show you. I probably talked about this before. But if we just take a look here just at some random pages, you can see they've kept the color very true. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but anyway, they kept the color very true to the originals. They've just cleaned it up a lot, so it looks quite nice. As you can see, Shockwave features quite heavily in the early issues, which I wholeheartedly approve of. He was definitely more of a force to be reckoned with in this one than he was in the cartoon. There's a really cool cover, actually. Shockwave fighting Megatron, and yes, that's Prime's head there. Long story to explain what's going on there, but yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll show you one of my all-time favorite covers here too, actually. See, now here's the kind of imagery, just like the G.I. Joe comic was a little more intense than the comic, or than the cartoon. Same thing with the Transformers. Like, here is a good chunk of the Autobots at the time, brutally defeated and hanging from the rafters like slabs of meat, dripping oil, as it were. But I'll show you, yeah, one of my favorite covers, this beautiful painted cover here. The Transformers are all dead. Shockwave with the smoking gun there. It's very cool. Yeah, but anyway, love the old comics. Really looking forward to revisiting these. You know, during the quiet times at work, I've been bringing books with me. I think I'll start bringing Transformers with me as well. Alrighty, that is definitely it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara.